Hey everyone. Oh, sorry about my voice. It is not at its best right now. I've been a little bit under the weather, so I'm really sorry if my voice is a little bit crackly or just not loud enough. I'm going to try to make sure that when I upload these videos that I turn the volume up a little bit because I've been under the weather. Both me and my fiance have been under the weather, and we are on the mend, thankfully, because it's been rough, but I hope all is well. I know that we're all kind of dealing with a lot energetically, and I feel like depending on what's in your, what's in your chart and the planets that reside in your chart, it can feel very confusing right now. But just understand that it will all work out as it should if we allow it to. That makes sense. Happy spring, happy equinox. This is going to be for Libra, sun, moon, and rising signs. Check your rising and or moon sign for deeper resonance. Um, this is going to be a reading that speaks to what's going on in your money sector and your relationship sector. And it's just all relationships, romantic, platonic, family, business partnerships, what have you. Okay, so the first card that we're going to pull, and I'm going to take my time with these readings as best I can because I'm just getting the sense that I really need to sit and really feel, not that I don't sit here and feel the energies that I'm reading for. I'm just feeling that I just really need to sit with you guys and really, you know, make sure that, I'm feeling your energies and hearing your energies, and speaking to that. So let's go ahead and see what's going on with your money and the advice from the angels, from the ancestors of light about your money sector, about your money spirits, your job, your career, your business, if you have your own business, turning a hobby into a business, what have you. Let's see what's going on for Libra, sun, moon, and rising signs for the springtime of 2025 of this year. The springtime of this year. Libra. You have declutter. I love that. I love that. So Libra, again, check your rising and your moon sign, okay? Because I feel like if you're a Libra sun sign, this may not 100% resonate with you. If it does, great. But I feel like if you're a Libra moon or a rising sign, this will really kind of hit home a little bit more. Um, your space is so the focus, Libra, at this time. It is such the focus in springtime. Definitely spring cleaning, okay? Um, if you've been kind of feeling like your brain or your thoughts when it comes to work, your spending habits, if you feel like it's just kind of been a little bit chaotic or just kind of all over the place, check your check your environment, check your office. Like if you're in your office most of the time and you have a lot of knickknacks, doodads, whatever, or, you have a lot of your stuff in your office, maybe it's time to like reorganize your office or declutter your office, whether it's an office at home or at a studio, or maybe it's a studio. If you have a studio, if you have any type of work, like office or studio that's outside of home, and if you, even if it's inside of your home, if it's your home and you have an office inside of your home or a studio inside of your home, if it's just your home in general, if there's a certain room in your home, maybe you have kids and maybe they need some help, reorganizing some things. Maybe it's your car. Okay, if you have some things in your car where you're just like, sometimes our cars can become like clutter bugs, you know what I mean? And we can become clutter bugs with our cars. But wherever there is clutter, focus on that, get rid of it, address it, because that is also, especially if it's again, if it's an area where you work, okay, where you make money, um declutter it. Okay, whether it's like a sewing, maybe it's a room, maybe you guys make props or something, or you make clothing, or anything that you do with fabric. Maybe it's like just a bunch of papers if you do a lot of paperwork. Maybe you're an artist of some kind, a designer of some kind. um, Maybe you're a gamer. I don't know, like there's just certain ways that you make money, and wherever that is, it's just got a lot of stuff that you just don't need anymore. Maybe a lot of scraps, maybe just a lot of stuff where just, you can give it to the thrift store, or you can give it to good, Salvation Army, Goodwill, whatever. um Give it to someone less fortunate, or recycle it, or just toss it. Okay. Bottom of the deck in your secret message, you have no more complaining. So Libra, if you're complaining about something or you're tired of something, get rid of it. Right? If you're complaining about something constantly, you're not doing anything about it, it kind of gets annoying. It gets a little bit annoying. You know? I mean, I feel like if I'm complaining about something constantly, I'm like, then, like, I just get to that point where I'm just like, I've been complaining about this for so long and I've done nothing about it. Like, I sound so stupid. You know what I mean? That's just how I talk to myself. Um, so it's like, if you're complaining about something constantly, do something about it. If you're complaining about clutter, maybe you're constantly complaining, like, why am I not, why is money not coming in? Um, why is my brain just not, focusing? Why is, or maybe you're complaining about the clutter. Maybe you're just like, all this stuff is in here, like it's just always in my way. Do something about it. You know what I mean? Also, this card also talks about the declutter card. This card also talks about um, your scheduling. So if you have a planner, or even if it's a digital planner, um, and it's just kind of all over the place, if you look at your calendar or a planner and you just kind of, every time you look at it, you're just like, what is what day is this for, what time is this for? You might need to get a new planner, maybe get some stickers, get some markers, like different color markers. I don't know, like whatever is, aesthetically pleasing to your eye, that's going to help you, keep your planner organized, keep your schedule organized. Definitely do that. Okay. So if you are an appointment setter, or you work with clients of any kind, or if you just have a schedule set up for yourself just for daily routines to keep yourself on track, especially for those of you who might have ADHD or something like that. I love talking about mental health on my channel, even in little bitty ways like that, and mentioning that because it is real. If you have ADHD out there, definitely make sure that you do some research or reach out for help to somebody who might be able to help you organize your scheduling, or organize your planner, or organize your a room, what have you. So let's go ahead and tap into your relationships in general. Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising signs for the springtime of this year. Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising signs, ancestors of light, messengers of light, angels for their spring equinox, messages for their relationships for this year in the springtime. Oops. Okay, this is cute. You received card number 22, and you received the yurt. I love a nice yurt. Valuing a homestead's independence. So you make your home what you want it to be, Libra. It doesn't matter if you live alone, if you live with family, if you have a family of your own, if you live with a partner, a roommate, a friend. Um, really value your home. And how you value your home is by taking care of it. Now, I feel like this has something to do with your relationship with your family or the people that you live with. And you guys may be wanting to live in a very unique home or a very unique place. Um, and you might actually want to share this place with someone who actually appreciates it as much as you do. So if there are those of you who kind of want to live off grid, or you want to do like cozy camping, maybe you want to live in a yurt. I don't know. Maybe you want to own a cabin, or you want to live in a tiny home, or you want to do the van life like some people do. I don't know. Like, it's something very unique, I feel. Something that just stands alone, it stands on its own. Some of you guys probably, maybe you want to get into homesteading. Maybe you just kind of want to do your own thing. You don't want to live in the city. You don't want to live in an apartment. You don't want to live in a shared home in a way, you want to live someplace where it's your own, where you and your family or a roommate or a partner can just do your own thing. You live your own life and you have your own values, just kind of away from everybody. I feel like you really are looking to, I'm also seeing this in a general sense as you wanting your independence. So if this is a like it is a relationship situation, in your relationships, whether it's friends, family, romantic partner, you do not need people hanging off of you. You do not need you don't need codependency is bad. Codependency is a block, okay, of any relationship, any relationship. So if there's a relationship that you're in, or certain relationships or friendships that you find yourself entertaining, um, in the springtime, you might want to kind of think about how much work you're how much do you depend on someone, and how much are they depending on you. Do you want to I feel like you guys don't really want to depend on anybody, and you don't want them depending on you either, unless they're your kid. Okay, if you have a child, or if you have a disabled parent or spouse, that's different. But I mean, like, this is like a situation where this person is able-bodied, but they don't this is getting weird. Okay, Libra. So if there's somebody where, do you feel like you have to ask permission to go out, or especially if you're living with your parents, y'all? If you feel like you still have to ask for permission to go out, uh, uh, like, if you're a grown adult watching this, you shouldn't be asking for permission from anybody to do anything. Okay, if you got your job, you're making money, you don't need to be asking permission. That's weird in my eyes. That's just me. I feel like there are some things you should ask for, when you're in a relationship with somebody or with a friend. Like, there are certain things where it is reasonable to ask, like, hey, are you okay with this? Or, are you down with this? Do you feel comfortable with this? Like, there are some things where, okay, I get, like, asking, it's not really asking permission, just making sure that that person is not being disrespected. That's understandable. But if it just comes down to you just going to have a good time, you're not hurting anybody, you're not hurting yourself, you're not doing anything that's going to put somebody in an uncomfortable position, you shouldn't have to ask for permission. So I'm just getting the sense that you really need relationships that give you space to be as independent as you want to be. If it's a romantic partnership, you need a romantic partner who is willing to just let you be you. Like, if you want to go out with your friends, like, they can either join in and be like, hey, I'll be there with you guys, you know what I mean? We can have a good time, or not. They can, if you say, hey, this is just a girl's day or a guy time, whatever, or this is just me and my friends, you know, they have to be okay with that. They have to just, if you're going to go fly to another country with a friend or by yourself, or go to another state by yourself, like, your partner should be okay with that, or your friends, whoever you're living with, your family member, your parents. If you're a grown individual, you're an adult, and you have a job, or you're making money in some way, shape, or form, you should be able to live your life as you want. Others of you, this is actually you moving out so that you can have your own space. Okay, if there is like some kind of codependency happening, or some kind of power play happening in your household. um Maybe some of you guys live in a small town and you're kind of over it, you're kind of over running into the same people in your business, or you knowing what's going on with the next person. Like, maybe you just want to move someplace where you just don't know anybody really, and you can just have your own space. The secret message at the bottom of the deck, you have number one, card number one, and it says rafting, and it says meeting a calling challenge. So maybe the challenge here for you guys, Libra, is actually you moving. Maybe you are actually going to do more outdoor activities. Maybe you're going to travel more, you know. Maybe the challenge is you just saying, hey, I'm going to put myself first. I just want to be by myself. I don't really need to be, we can be apart for a while, could be that. Because if you because that could be challenging, Libra, during the springtime. Like I feel like the springtime is a time when the weather is getting warmer. You want to go out, you want to go have fun, you want to go to a festival or go to a gathering, you want to go out with friends or maybe family members, but you want to be around people who actually are just as independent as you are. Codependency is such a killer of joy. Like it's, I don't know. I don't know. Um, all I see here is that you guys just, all I see is like a vision of you guys, like somebody walking out on their porch or outside of their tent or just looking outside their window of their home and just drinking a nice beverage and just feeling like I can breathe, like I can just enjoy this moment without hearing anybody talking or hearing anybody have an opinion about what I'm doing or asking me questions. You know what I mean? It's and maybe if you are a parent, you guys, maybe you guys are a parent, maybe you're just like maybe you have a child or multiple kids and you're just kind of like, I need some time away. If you're able to kind of get your kids to be looked after by someone you trust, or your partner or grandparents, best friend, whatever, sibling, aunt or uncle, great. Um, that way you can kind of get out and just take a break. Maybe that's what you need to do for the springtime. Let's go ahead and pull a couple oracle messages for you guys, Libra, for the springtime of this year, from what the spirit realm has to say, what your spirit guides, your ancestors of light, and your angels have to say about your relationships and your money circumstances at this time in the springtime of this year. And I say of this year because I always think about this in my readings. Like there are certain cultures, ancient cultures, who don't consider this year being 2025. It's actually 2020, 2017, 2017. Especially, I think it's in the Ethiopian culture. So sometimes I'm just like, that's interesting. That's just how my brain works. But anyway, that's a tangent. So that's why I'm just saying of this year, depending on the cultures out there. Rabbit. You have the rabbit. I'm kind of seeing the rabbit as like walking around on eggshells in a way, or kind of scurrying, not scurrying around, but feeling like you kind of have to be aware of what you say, what you do. Just kind of making sure nobody is like on your back or watching you or keeping an eye on you. But we're going to look at this card really quickly. Bottom of the deck, you have the fish. That's your secret message from that deck. But we have the rabbit. And yeah, it's just like that energy of just like, I just want people off my back, you know? All right. So let's go ahead and find the rabbit. We're going to read this one really quickly. There we go. And it says, afraid of everything. Wow. Overwhelmed, frozen. The rabbit loves to remind his friends that someday the eagle will swoop down and eat him. He talks and talks and talks about it so loudly, in fact, that one day the eagle hears and thanks him for the great idea. Rabbit energy is alive when we are scared, most often about the future, and we become our own worst enemy. We spin up a dust cloud of fear and then complain to others that we are lost. Notice your thoughts and words, O rabbit, they shape your destiny. So, Libra, your fears are frequency, our emotions are frequency. So, if you're constantly walking around on eggshells in your home, if you're constantly walking around in fear for whatever reason, that fear is letting out signals into the spirit realm, into the ether, into wherever. And there are energies that are trying to follow the trail to wherever the source of that frequency is. and that can be you. So again, you may need to declutter your space. You might need to get away from a place where energy is just cluttered. So if you're living in a space where there's like a lot of family members, a lot of people, right? You might really need to make it a regular routine where you, maybe a weekly or monthly routine where you get away to calm your mind. Because a lot of the times we think that our thoughts are silent and nobody knows, but there are energies out there where our minds are actually giving off frequencies and signals to other spirits and entities that are actually looking to feed off of energy like that. So if in your mind, if you're constantly consuming what you fear mentally, the saying that you are what you eat is the same thing with our minds. If you're constantly consuming fear, you become fear. And you exist in fear, therefore fear continues to find you. Fearful things end up finding you. Fearful relationships, codependency, right? So just bear that in mind, Libra, in the springtime. Declutter, yes, definitely declutter, but declutter your mind. Get away. Go on a trip. Go on a nature walk, right? Um, yeah, that's intense, y'all. That is intense, but you guys are going to get through this. You guys will get through this. Now let's go ahead and look at the fish really quickly. As your secret message, I'm not going to read that one out loud to you guys. Yeah, so yeah, the fish, the hidden message is, also about fear, restlessness, things like that. Um, you may have become very comfortable in this environment of clutter, of, chaos in a way. And you may have to get used to actually stepping out of your comfort zone and traveling to new places, being around new people, right? That might be something that might be challenging, but it'll be good for you to kind of just get a breath of fresh air for once. Very interesting. So let's go ahead and see one more oracle message, Libra, regarding this spiritual advice and frequencies attached to your money and your relationships. Let's see, for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising signs for springtime of this year. Spiritual messages for their money and relationships. You have card number 28, 𝑍�🋼🍼. 2 and 8 is 9. Nope, 10. Sorry, 2 and 8 is 10. That is an ending. I feel like a happy ending, okay? The secret message for the bottom of this deck is Chinnamasta, card number 20. Those are numbers that you could write down if you so choose. We're going to go ahead and read what 𝑍�🋼🍼 has to say, card number 28, and then we'll jump into your tarot to dig a little bit deeper regarding the zodiac signs and the people that you're actually dealing with within these circumstances of your life, okay? So card number 28, 𝑍�🋼🍼. Okay. Even though, wait, so this says, I'm sorry. Let's see. I want to make sure I'm reading this properly. There are some insights we must be ready for. Even though they are ultimately helpful, We are unable to accept some truths without the experiences that prepare us to understand and even embrace what we would have tried to avoid at any cost. It can take time to become ready to deal with the pain that arises and to recognize uncomfortable truths, even though it is the good kind of pain that frees you and will eventually end rather than keep you trapped in a loop of repetitive suffering. Hmm. So, Libra, whatever it is that you're holding on to in your life, for whatever reason, there has come a point where you need to let it go. And this is why with Chinamasta here, with the head being severed, this is your doing. This is your doing. You have to be the one to make the decision to walk away. You have to be the one to make the decision to cut off this codependent behavior out of your life. And again, this can definitely be family related. Okay. Um, I'm really feeling like family related. Now, if this is a romantic partnership, this can definitely just be super duper clingy kind of energy. This is not something that you can wait around and just wait for it to kind of fall off at some point. You have to be the one, like this card here with Chinamasta is you being the one to sever that dead weight. So you have the means to do this. You are given the tool to do this. Not this is not the universe stepping in and doing this for you. We're going to go ahead and pull some cards from the tarot to see if the universe does eventually step in, if it has to. But we're going to see, like, this is not the gods or your ancestors stepping in and saying, okay, you're done with this, we're cutting it off, right? This is literally them saying, hey, you already know what you need to do. You know what you want to do. Go ahead and cut it off, Libra. Go ahead and cut it off. You got this, right? So I see this as your ancestors or your guides just kind of stepping back and just letting you decide, just letting you eventually make the decision to cut this off. Because this is a situation where you're feeling a bit claustrophobic, you're feeling suffocated. And at some point, you have to swim, you have to kind of swim out of the situation. At some point, you have to kind of cut the cord in order for you to breathe, right? So at some point, you have to kick yourself out. So this is not a situation where you can kind of dwell there, you can still survive and eventually the universe has to come in and like pick you up out of it. This is a situation that's actually causing you to feel suffocated. It's really choking the life out of you, so to speak, in like energetically. So this is why I see that at some point you're going to make the decision to be like, okay, I gotta go. Like I gotta distance myself from this. I gotta go take a break. I gotta go on vacation. Um, I got to stop this madness. That's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm seeing for you guys. So let's pull 3 cards, you guys, for the detailed messages for your money and your relationships moving forward in the springtime of this year. Okay, yeah, there you are. There's Aquarius. There's the Fool. Yeah, yeah. Taking the risk. Just being like, I don't care. I'm taking this risk. I'm doing this. I don't care if it sounds stupid. I don't care what anybody has to say. Here you are, the Justice card. Like you are. The Justice card is all about you have the tools. Like look at you. You have the sword. You have the scales, right? You have a king and a peasant here at the feet of this individual, at the feet of this god or this entity, right? They are being treated, they're getting their karma just like everybody else. Doesn't matter whether they're rich or poor. They are being weighed, they are being judged. And this is kind of the energy that you're kind of giving here, Libra. The universe, your ancestors or the gods or my ancestors of light are telling me that you kind of have to swing this sword towards everyone right now who is, it doesn't matter how cute they are, it doesn't matter how much they say they love you, it doesn't matter if they're parents, it doesn't matter if they are aunt, uncle, sibling, friend, romantic partner, like, or even if it's your job, you have to be willing to say, no, I'm putting myself first. I shouldn't have to ask permission. Like, there may be someone in your midst who doesn't really understand how independent you are as a person. They paint you in the same picture that they paint themselves, if that makes sense. But I do see that as you make that decision to kind of cut some things off, some codependent behaviors off, and some relationships off, or a relationship off, things are gonna be fine. You're gonna reach land at some point. Like, you're not just gonna be floating there. I forgot who I said that to. There was someone else I said that to in a reading on here, but it's gonna be fine. You just have to let go. Just let go. Do the thing, whatever the thing is. Secret message at the bottom of the deck, you have the Seven of Pentacles. So at some point, you will be able to reap the benefits of your work. I really do think that if you're complaining about a job here, Libra, if there's a situation where at work where you have to ask for time off constantly, or you constantly have to like beg for it, or I don't know, it's like you're just never really given time to just enjoy your life. There's no balance between your work and your your regular life. But I do get the sense that the seeds that you've planted, after planting these seeds and saying what you need to say and doing what you need to do for yourself, you are gonna eventually see the results. You're gonna reap the fruits of your labor. I do see that happening, Libra. I do see that happening. Hmm. Let's go ahead and clarify the Justice card, you guys, really quickly. Justice card for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising signs. Yep, you have the Fool card again. Queen of Pentacles. So yeah, this is you just taking charge. You're taking charge of the situation. I see the Queen of Pentacles as almost like a house witch or like a hearth witch, or I see this as somebody who just really loves their home. Like a homebody. This is somebody who decorates their home. They work hard for the home that they have. So I do see that there's somebody here who is like working very hard for the place that they have. So some of you guys have saved up a lot of money to get the place that you have, and you really just want to live in peace. Okay, some of you guys are definitely somebody might be going to court for something. I don't know if there's somebody who's going to eventually get a divorce from someone, like you're done with this person, or in the past you got a divorce and this is what freed you. It was a risk that you had to take because you saw that your happiness was there. You saw your happiness from afar and you're just like, I got to get there, so I have to divorce this person. Some of you guys could be going through a divorce right now and it feels very risky because maybe you feel like, maybe we could work this out, maybe this could work out at some point, but there's something deep inside of you that's like, this is not going to work out and I'm not going to sit here and wait around anymore, right? It's going to fill your cup though. Secret message at the bottom of the deck, you have the Ace of Cups. So um if this is a divorce, if this is you going to court for something, maybe it's about a job, maybe you're going to court because of a job, or this is something that's been weighing heavy on your heart for sure, or at least on your mind. Let's clarify the Six of Swords. We have Libra here, we have Aquarius, we have Capricorn and Virgo. Yeah, we have Taurus, we have the Page of Pentacles, clarifying the Six of Swords. So this is definitely after getting off of a plane, off of a boat, off of a train, off of a bus. You are ready for change. You're ready for new change, like a new beginning, a new fresh start, right? Some of you guys are getting back out there in the dating world, okay? Some of you guys are redoing your resume completely. If this is a job situation, you guys are going back to school to learn a new skill so that you can get the dream job that you want. But I do get the sense that if this is a job, you guys are done with a job. Like you are quitting. Like you've got your resume together, you got your cover letter together, like you're done with the job. Some of you guys are done with a job. You may be making a lot of money. You may have been making a lot of money at this job and you quit so you can go for a job that may pay you less, but it actually makes you happy, which is awesome. Secret message bottom of the deck, you have the Three of Wands. So yes, this is definitely you setting your sights higher. You're broadening your horizons here and realizing that there's so much opportunity out there. Let's go ahead and clarify, last but not least, the Fool. Okay, so you have the Two of Wands, which is Aries. I read this as Aries. Planning. So this is a situation where, okay, you did not plan. This is a situation where you didn't necessarily, maybe you did make plans to quit this job or to divorce this person or break up with somebody or move away. Maybe you have been making plans, but you weren't really bracing yourself. Like you weren't really prepared for how it was going to feel when you did finally go through with this. So this is a situation where maybe it kind of seemed like it was a shock to everybody else, but for you, you're like, no, I've been like contemplating this for a long time. This is something that I've been thinking about. It's been bothering me and nothing changed. Even if you were trying to talk to somebody, maybe you were actually trying to talk to somebody and get them to understand your needs, Libra, in a relationship or at work, and they just weren't listening. And maybe now that you've quit your job or that you have broken up with this person or divorced this person, everybody's acting like, oh, I didn't see this coming. But you, in your mind, you're probably like, how did you not see this coming? I've been like trying to talk about this. Like I've been, you know, trying to discuss this. I don't know. But others of you, maybe you just weren't really prepared for the reactions or, you know, what people had to say when you did finally cut the cord here. Yeah, you have the Six of Swords again at the bottom of this deck. Six of Swords in both decks, clarifying and as a direct message. So as your secret message, you did receive the Six of Swords. So this is a time to move forward. This is going to be smooth forward movement, okay? You don't have to worry about this being choppy. It may feel a little bit choppy. It may feel like your stomach is like in your chest kind of, or in your throat. You may feel like, oh my God, like this is a big move. This is a big change for me. But it's not going to be as bad as you think it is, Libra. It's gonna be smooth sailing. It's gonna be smooth sailing. I can definitely say that based on the cards that I see in front of me here. Much love and light to all of you, Libra. I wish you guys the very best of luck on this journey. Stay safe, stay healthy, and hope to see you guys in your next reading. Bye, guys.